The silence of space near Jupiter's orbit was broken by the gentle hum of a failing engine. Inside the sleek merchant vessel Star Whisper Captain Anna's blue fingers danced across the control panel with increasing frustration. Warning lights flashed across the ship's dashboard, bathing her azure skin in an angry red glow. "Not here. Not in this primitive sector," she muttered, her pointed ears twitching with annoyance. The quantum drive's familiar purr had turned into an alarming wheeze, and the temperature readings were climbing into dangerous levels. Anna belonged to the Starborn, an advanced civilization that prided itself on technological superiority. Their ships were supposed to be perfect, self-repairing, highly efficient, and most importantly, never breaking down near underdeveloped worlds like Earth. Yet here she was, watching helplessly as her ship's systems failed one by one. The emergency lights cast eerie shadows in the cockpit as she tried another restart sequence. The engine coughed once, twice, then died completely. The sudden silence felt deafening. Only the life support systems remained operational, running on backup power. "Computer, status report," she commanded, her silver eyes reflecting the dim emergency lights. "Main engine, offline. Quantum drive, critical failure. Cooling system, malfunctioning. Estimated time until complete system failure, 4 hours," the ship's AI responded in its calm voice. Anna leaned back in her captain's chair, weighing her options. She was too far from any starborn outpost to receive help from her people. The nearest inhabited world was Earth, a planet her species typically avoided due to its developing status. The Starborn Council's warnings echoed in her mind. Humans are unpredictable, primitive. Their technology is centuries behind ours. Avoid contact unless absolutely necessary. But right now, absolute necessity was staring her in the face. With a deep breath, she activated the emergency beacon. "Computer, broadcast distress signal on all frequencies, including Earth's primitive bands." The signal shot out into space, carrying her call for help in multiple formats. She waited, watching the stars through her view screen, hoping someone would respond before her life support failed. Inside Earth's Jupiter space station, Controller Tom Peters was having a quiet day until this console lit up with an unusual alert. He adjusted his headset and leaned forward, studying the incoming signal. "Chief," he called out, "you might want to see this. We're picking up a distress beacon near the Europa sector, but it's not one of ours." Station Chief Lisa Morgan hurried over, her eyes widening as she read the signal data. "Definitely not human technology," she agreed. "Look at these power readings. Whatever's out there, it's way beyond our tech level." "Protocol says we should ignore unknown alien signals," Tom reminded her, but there was uncertainty in his voice. "Safety concerns and all that." Chief Morgan drummed her fingers on the console, thinking. The signal's universal distress markers were clear. Someone needed help, alien or not. "Protocol also says we have a duty to help those endangered," she countered. "Get me Jack on the line." Minutes later, Jack Brown's face appeared on the communication screen. He was in his workshop, tools scattered around him, grease smudges on his face. Despite being Earth's best space engineer, he looked more like a friendly mechanic than a technical genius. "Chief, what's up?" he asked, wiping his hands on a rag. "Jack, we've got a situation. Unknown vessel in distress near Europa. Definitely not human tech. How do you feel about making history?" A slow grin spread across Jack's face. "Unknown alien tech that needs fixing. Chief, you just made my day. I'll prep my maintenance vessel." As Jack gathered his tools and prepared for launch, Anna watched Earth's response ships approaching on her radar. Her silver eyes narrowed with a mixture of hope and suspicion. Would these primitives actually be able to help? Or had she just made a terrible mistake? The story of how a simple repair job would change 2 civilizations was about to begin. Jack's maintenance vessel, the Fixed Asterisk, approached the alien ship with careful precision. Through his viewport, he studied the sleek vessel's unusual design. Its hull shimmered with a metallic blue finish that seemed to change color as it caught the light from Jupiter. "Never seen anything like it," he whispered, double-checking his suit's oxygen levels. After 15 years of fixing everything in space, from broken satellites to damaged space stations, this was something entirely new. His radio crackled. "This is Captain Anna of the merchant vessel Star Whisper *. Human engineer, you may dock at the emergency port on the starboard side." Jack noticed the tension in her voice. "Copy that, Captain. I'm Jack Brown, and I'm here to help." He guided his ship toward the indicated docking point, impressed by how the alien ship's docking system adapted to match his vessel's connection port. The airlock cycled, and Jack floated through with his toolbox. His heart raced with excitement, but years of experience had taught him to stay calm in any situation. The ship's interior was as impressive as its exterior: smooth walls that seemed to glow from within, and technology that looked more like art than machinery. When he saw Captain Anna waiting for him, Jack had to remind himself not to stare. She stood a head taller than him, her blue skin and silver eyes marking her as definitely not human. She wore what looked like a uniform, though its material seemed to flow like liquid metal. "Your assistance is appreciated," Anna said carefully, her universal translator converting her words to English. "Though I must admit, I have doubts about whether your level of technology will be sufficient." Jack smiled, patting his toolbox. "You'd be surprised what we humans can do with basic tools and a bit of thinking. Can you show me the problem?" Anna led him through the ship's corridors. "Our quantum drive has failed, and the cooling system is malfunctioning. Our technology is far beyond anything you—" She stopped as the ship shuddered, and more warning lights flashed. "That didn't sound good," Jack said, already opening his toolbox. "Mind if I take a look at your engine room?" Anna hesitated, then nodded. "Follow me. But please understand, if you damage anything, there will be serious consequences." The engine room was unlike anything Jack had ever seen. The quantum drive sat in the center, a crystalline structure that would have looked at home in a museum of modern art. But Jack's experienced eyes quickly noticed something odd about the cooling pipes running alongside it. "Interesting," he muttered, pulling out a basic thermal scanner. "You folks use quantum technology, but you still need to deal with heat, right?" Anna crossed her arms. "Of course. Heat is a universal constant. Our systems are designed to handle it automatically," Jack finished, running his hand along a pipe. "But sometimes the simple stuff needs attention too. Look here." He pointed to a section where the pipe bent at an unusual angle. "What about it?" Anna asked, peering at the spot he indicated. "Classic vapor lock. Happens all the time in regular engines. Your fancy quantum drive is fine. It's the cooling system that's the problem. The liquid can't flow properly because of this bend, so heat builds up, and your safety systems shut everything down." Anna blinked in surprise. "That's impossible. Our systems are perfect." Jack chuckled, already pulling tools from his box. "Nothing's perfect, Captain. But that's okay. It's an easy fix, if you'll let me." She watched him skeptically, but nodded. "Proceed. But I warn you, no damages." "Got it," Jack said cheerfully, selecting a pipe wrench. "You know, back on Earth, I once fixed a space station's life support with duct tape and paper clips. This is much simpler." As he began working, Anna observed him with a mixture of curiosity and concern. Here was a human, a member of a species her people considered primitive, confidently working on technology he'd never seen before, and somehow he seemed to know exactly what he was doing. What surprised her most was his smile. He actually looked happy to be solving this problem. Jack lay on his back under the cooling pipes, his forehead wrinkled in concentration. The ship's emergency lights cast strange shadows as he worked, making the crystalline quantum drive glow like a giant blue diamond above him. Anna stood nearby, her silver eyes tracking his every move. "Your cooling system is really interesting," Jack said, wiping sweat from his forehead. It's like someone designed it to be perfect, but forgot that perfect things can still have simple problems. Our engineers are the best in the galaxy, Anna replied stiffly. This system has worked flawlessly for decades. Jack slid out from under the pipes and sat up. That's actually part of the problem. When's the last time anyone did basic maintenance on these pipes? Anna's blue face darkened slightly, her species' version of a blush. Maintenance. The system is self-maintaining. It has AI-controlled nanobots that handle all the complex stuff. Jack finished. He pulled out a small mirror and flashlight from his toolbox. But look at this. He angled the mirror so Anna could see inside the pipe bend. See that buildup? Your nanobots handle the high-tech problems, but they've ignored the basic issue of mineral deposits. Anna leaned closer, her pointed ears twitching with interest. Mineral deposits. But our filtration system is probably amazing at filtering out complex contaminants. Jack nodded. But sometimes it's the simple stuff that gets you. Even the most advanced coffee maker needs to be cleaned of calcium buildup now and then. The ship shuddered again, and more warning lights flashed. The quantum drive's gentle hum turned into a concerning whine. We're running out of time, Anna said, her calm facade cracking slightly. The backup power won't last much longer. Jack reached into his toolbox and pulled out several items: a bottle of strong cleaning solution, a flexible brush, and some basic tools. Okay, here's the plan. These deposits are blocking about 60% of your flow. Your quantum drive needs massive cooling, so even a small blockage causes big problems. He laid out his tools carefully. First, we'll clean out these pipes. Then we'll adjust this bend to prevent future buildup. After that, your nanobots can take over maintaining the new configuration. Anna watched as he mixed his cleaning solution. That looks rather primitive. Jack grinned. Sometimes primitive is exactly what you need. This is basically just fancy vinegar. Been cleaning mineral deposits since ancient times on Earth. He started feeding the flexible brush into the pipe. You know what's funny? Your ship's problem is like that old story about the space pen. Space pen? Anna asked, despite herself becoming interested in his story. Yeah. During the space race, our engineers spent $1 million developing a pen that could write in zero gravity. The Russians just used pencils. He worked the brush back and forth. Sometimes the simple solution is the best solution. Dark sludge began flowing out of the pipe into a container Jack had positioned. Anna's eyes widened. All of that was inside our system. Yup. Your nanobots probably saw it as part of the pipe structure since it built up so gradually. Jack continued working, his movements precise despite the simplicity of his tools. That's the thing about advanced technology. Sometimes it's so advanced it misses the basics. The quantum drive's whine began to soften as more sludge flowed out. Jack's face was covered in sweat, but his eyes sparkled with enthusiasm. Almost there. Once this is clear, we'll adjust this bend so it doesn't happen again. Anna found herself impressed despite her prejudices. This human, using tools that her people would consider museum pieces, was solving a problem that had baffled her ship's advanced AI. You really enjoy this, don't you? She asked, watching him work. Are you kidding? This is amazing, Jack exclaimed. I'm the first human to ever work on a quantum drive. Plus, solving problems like this. It's like solving a puzzle. Simple problem, simple solution, but you have to think creatively to find it. For the first time since her ship broke down, Anna smiled. Perhaps there was more to these humans than her people had thought. All right, time for the moment of truth, Jack said, tightening the last bolt on the newly adjusted cooling pipe. He had spent the last hour carefully reshaping the problematic bend, using nothing more than basic tools and his years of experience. Anna watched nervously as he made final adjustments. Her ship's warning lights still flashed, though less urgently now. The backup power indicator showed less than an hour remaining. If his simple solution didn't work, she would be facing a much bigger problem than just a broken engine. "Are you certain about this?" she asked, her silver eyes reflecting the emergency lights. "The angle you've created doesn't match our engineering specifications." Jack wiped his hands on a rag and smiled. "That's because your specifications assumed perfect conditions. Real life is messier." He patted the pipe gently. "This new angle will let gravity help prevent future buildup, even in zeroed conditions." Gravity, but in space. Even in space, liquids behave according to basic physics, Jack explained. "Your cooling system creates its own microgravity field. I noticed it when I was working under there. Pretty clever system, actually. We're just working with it instead of against it." He moved to the control panel, studying the alien symbols. "Okay, would you do the honors? Let's start it up, but slowly." Anna stepped forward, her fingers dancing across the controls. The quantum drive hummed to life, its crystal structure beginning to glow with a soft blue light. Jack watched the pipes intently, holding his breath. The cooling liquid began to flow, visible through the transparent sections of the pipe. It moved smoothly through the new bend, without the turbulence that had caused the original problem. "Temperature dropping," Anna reported, surprise evident in her voice. "Flow rate at... This can't be right. It's higher than factory specifications." Jack grinned. "That's because we cleaned out years of buildup. Your system is probably running better than it has in a long time." He pointed to the quantum drive. "Listen, no more whining sound." The drive was indeed running smoother than Anna could remember. The warning lights began turning off one by one, and the backup power indicator stabilized. "But how?" she asked, genuinely puzzled. "You used such basic tools. Our engineers would have needed a complete quantum reconstruction unit for this repair." "Sometimes fancy tools just get in the way," Jack said, packing up his equipment. "When you rely too much on advanced technology, you can forget the basic principles that make everything work." He pulled out a small device from his pocket. "Here, I made this while I was working. It's a simple sensor that will warn you when buildup starts to occur again. Just a basic conductivity meter, but it should work with your systems." Anna took the device, turning it over in her hands. It was clearly made from spare parts, but its design was elegant in its simplicity. "You created this from scratch, while fixing the pipe?" "Sure. Had some spare parts in my toolbox, and I figured you might want to catch the problem early next time." He shrugged. "It's not fancy, but it'll work." The ship's main lights came back on as the power systems returned to normal. Through the viewport, Jupiter's massive form provided a magnificent backdrop to their success. "I think I owe you an apology," Anna said slowly. "I assumed that because your technology was less advanced, you would be unable to help. I was wrong." Jack closed his toolbox with a satisfying click. "No apology needed, but maybe remember that newer isn't always better. Sometimes the old ways work just fine." He glanced at his handiwork one last time. "You know what's really interesting? Your quantum drive. It's amazing technology, but it still follows the basic laws of physics. Some things are universal, whether you're from Earth or the other side of the galaxy." Anna nodded, a new respect in her silver eyes. "Perhaps there are many things our civilizations could learn from each other." The quantum drive hummed contentedly in the background, running better than ever thanks to a human engineer with simple tools and a problem-solving mind. With the ship's systems running smoothly, Jack and Anna sat in the Star Whispers observation lounge. Through the large viewport, Jupiter's swirling storms created a spectacular view. 2 cups sat between them, coffee for Jack and a shimmering blue liquid for Anna. "So your people really believed we couldn't help?" Jack asked, sipping his coffee. He had removed his work suit, but kept his toolbox nearby, a habit from years of unexpected repair calls. Anna's silver eyes reflected Jupiter's light as she considered her answer. "The Starborn Council classifies Earth as a Level 2 civilization, capable of space travel but not yet ready for advanced quantum technologies." She paused, looking embarrassed. "We're taught that humans are primitive." Jack chuckled. Well, compared to quantum drives and self-repairing ships, I guess we are. He pulled out a tablet from his toolbox and showed her some pictures. But look at this, it's the International Space Station. We built it piece by piece, module by module, with basic materials and simple tools. Anna leaned forward, genuinely interested. You assembled this in orbit, without construction robots? Yup, just astronauts in spacesuits, using their hands and basic tools. Took years, but we did it. He swiped to another picture. And this is the Mars colony we're building. Still basic compared to your technology, but we're getting there. Fascinating, Anna murmured. We would have used automated quantum fabricators for such projects. The idea of building something so complex by hand. She shook her head in wonder. That's just how humans are, Jack said. We see a problem, and we figure out how to solve it with whatever we have. Sometimes that means getting our hands dirty. Anna took a sip of her drink. Perhaps that's what we've lost. The Starborn have relied on advanced technology for so long, we've forgotten how to solve problems without it. She gestured at the recently repaired cooling system. Like today, our engineers would never have thought to look for such a basic problem. Different approaches, that's all, Jack said diplomatically. Your quantum technology is amazing. I mean, look at this ship. It's beautiful. We're still decades away from building anything like this. But beauty isn't everything, Anna replied. Today proved that. You know, we don't even teach basic engineering principles anymore. Everything is handled by AI and quantum systems. Jack leaned back in his chair. Really? No basic training at all? No. Why learn about simple mechanics when quantum technology can solve everything? She laughed softly. At least, that's what we thought until today. You can't skip the basics, Jack said. It's like trying to run before you can walk. Even your quantum drive follows basic thermodynamics. Physics is physics, no matter how advanced the technology. Anna was quiet for a moment, thinking. The council won't like hearing this. They're very proud of our technological superiority. But after today, she looked at Jack. Would you be willing to share more about human engineering methods? Jack's eyes lit up. Are you kidding? I'd love to learn about your technology too. There's probably a lot we could teach each other. Indeed. Anna stood and walked to the viewport. You know, in all our studies of Earth, we never considered that your primitive approach might have advantages. We were so focused on our advanced technology that we missed something important. What's that? Jack asked. Innovation doesn't always require advanced technology. Sometimes it just needs. She smiled. Human ingenuity. Jack joined her at the viewport. The gas giant's bands of clouds rolled beneath them, a reminder of the universe's endless mysteries. So, he said, tell me more about the Starborn. What's your home world like? As Anna began to describe her civilization, both realized that this simple repair job had opened the door to something much bigger, a bridge between two very different cultures, each with something valuable to teach the other. The great hall of the Starborn Council towered above Anna, its crystal walls reaching toward the purple sky of her homeworld. She stood before the 7 council members, their blue skin darker than hers, a sign of their advanced age and wisdom. The footage of Jack repairing her ship played on a hovering screen behind her. Captain Anna. The head counselor spoke, his voice deep and resonant. You violated our most basic protocols by allowing a Level 2 species access to quantum technology. Explain yourself. Anna stood straight, her silver eyes meeting the counselor's gaze. Respected counsel, what you see is a violation. I see as a valuable lesson. The human engineer didn't just fix my ship. He showed us something we've forgotten. The footage showed Jack working with his basic tools, solving a problem that had baffled their advanced systems. Several council members shifted uncomfortably in their seats. Impossible, another counselor interrupted. Their primitive tools couldn't possibly. But they did, Anna said firmly. While we've become dependent on quantum technology and AI systems, Humans have maintained their understanding of basic engineering principles. Watch. She gestured at the screen, which now showed Jack's explanation of the mineral buildup problem. Our advanced systems overlooked a simple issue because we programmed them to look only for complex failures. This human found the problem in minutes. The council chamber filled with murmurs. The head counselor leaned forward. Are you suggesting we could learn from these primitives? They're not primitive, Anna replied. They're different. While we advanced straight to quantum technology, they mastered the basics. They build space stations by hand. They solve complex problems with simple tools. They understand the fundamental principles that we've forgotten. She pulled out the simple sensor Jack had made. This device was created from spare parts in less than an hour. It's basic technology, but it works perfectly. When was the last time any of us built something with our own hands? The council members exchanged glances. Anna continued, her voice growing stronger. I propose a technology exchange program, not to give them our advanced technology, but to learn from each other. They can remind us of the basics we've forgotten, and we can guide their development of quantum systems. Preposterous, one counselor exclaimed. Share our knowledge with Level 2. Look at the evidence, Anna interrupted, pointing to more footage. Their engineer fixed a quantum drive cooling system with basic tools and fundamental physics knowledge. Imagine what they could achieve with proper guidance, and imagine what we could remember by working with them. The head counselor raised his hand for silence. You're asking us to change centuries of policy regarding developing civilizations. I'm asking us to admit that advancement isn't always linear, Anna replied. Humans solve problems differently than we do. They're creative, resourceful, and understand fundamentals we've forgotten. This isn't about giving them our technology. It's about learning from each other. The council chamber fell silent. The footage continued playing, showing Jack's successful repair and the improved performance of the quantum drive. Finally, the head counselor spoke. Your encounter with this human engineer is compelling, but such a program would be unprecedented. Everything is unprecedented until someone tries it, Anna said, using a human phrase she had learned from Jack. We call ourselves advanced, but can we truly be advanced if we're afraid to learn new things, even from those we consider less developed? The council members conferred quietly among themselves. Minutes passed as Anna waited, her heart racing despite her calm exterior. The head counselor finally looked up. Captain Anna, your proposal is radical. It challenges our most basic assumptions. He paused. And perhaps that is exactly what we need. Anna held her breath as he continued. We will approve a limited technology exchange program under strict supervision. You will oversee this initiative, and your human engineer will be the first participant. A smile spread across Anna's face as she bowed to the council. What had started as a simple repair had become something much more. The beginning of a new era for both civilizations. 3 months after the fateful repair job, Jack stood in front of a class at the Starborn Engineering Academy. The crystal walls of the classroom sparkled with morning light from the purple sky outside. 20 young Starborn students, their blue skin lighter than Anna's, watched him with curious silver eyes. Today, Jack said, holding up a simple wrench, we're going to learn why understanding basic principles is just as important as quantum mechanics. At the back of the classroom, Anna watched with pride. As the newly appointed director of Interspecies Technology Exchange, she had fought hard to create this program. Now Earth's best engineer was teaching Starborn students things their advanced civilization had forgotten. Can anyone tell me, Jack continued, why a cooling system might fail even if all quantum readings show perfect function? The students looked at each other uncertainly. One raised her hand. Because of physical blockages. Exactly, Jack grinned. See, you're getting it already. Now let me show you something interesting. He walked to a demonstration model of a quantum drive cooling system. This is what I found on Captain Anna's ship. Sometimes the simplest problems have the simplest solutions. As Jack taught, Anna's communicator buzzed. A message from Earth appeared. First Starborn Technology Advisors successfully integrated at NASA. Quantum principles being adapted for Mars Colony Project. Thank you for making this possible. She smiled, remembering how this had all started with a broken ship near Jupiter. Now, humans were learning about quantum technology while teaching the Starborn about practical engineering. It was working better than anyone had expected. Jack had moved on to demonstrating basic repair techniques. Your quantum tools are amazing, he told the class, but sometimes you need to see, feel, and understand the problem with your own hands. Here, let me show you. The students gathered around, fascinated by his hands-on approach. These young Starborn had grown up letting AI and quantum systems do everything. Watching someone actually touch and fix machinery was revolutionary to them. Director Anna, a voice called softly. She turned to find the head counselor entering the classroom. Counselor, she bowed slightly. Have you come to observe the class? He nodded, watching Jack teach. When you first proposed this exchange, I thought you were overestimating these humans. He paused as the students gasped in amazement at Jack's demonstration. I was wrong. They're teaching us as much as we're teaching them, Anna said. Yesterday, I watched a video conference where human engineers helped design new maintenance protocols for our quantum ships. They see things differently than we do. Indeed, the counselor smiled. A rare sight. Their Mars colony project is progressing twice as fast with our quantum technology advisors. And here, our students are learning to think in new ways. Jack's voice carried across the room. Remember, advanced technology is wonderful, but never forget the basics. Understanding fundamentals means you can solve problems even when your quantum tools aren't working. A student raised her hand. Is that why humans progress so quickly? Because they understand the basics. Partly, Jack replied. But mostly it's because we never stop learning. Like now, we're learning about quantum technology from you, while you're learning about basic engineering from us. Everyone wins. Anna felt pride swell in her chest. This was more than just a technology exchange. It was a bridge between civilizations, all because a simple repair job had shown both species they had something to learn from each other. Next week, Jack announced, we're going to build something using only basic tools. No quantum assistance allowed. The students chattered excitedly. The head counselor turned to Anna. You were right, Director. Sometimes the greatest advances come from remembering what we've forgotten. As Jack continued teaching, Anna realized this wasn't just the 7th chapter in a story about a broken ship and a human engineer. It was the first chapter in a much bigger story, one about two civilizations learning that true advancement comes not from technology alone, but from being willing to learn from anyone, anywhere, no matter how different they might seem. Outside, the purple sky of the Starborn world shone bright with promise, while somewhere near Mars, human engineers worked alongside Starborn advisors, building humanity's future one step at a time.